Hi guys, I'm Lexi. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you how I get this reverse smoky eye. Very dark on the bottom, more kind of cat-like. And so if you like this look, just keep watching and I'll show you how I accomplish that. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with primer. I am first gonna go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and just in my T-zone. This is very good with blurring and perfecting perfecting the pores, hence the name. But my T-zone, especially my nose, is where I have the most prominent pores, and so that is where I am mainly focusing. And I also like to put some under my eyes to kind of fill in any little lines that I might have. And then I'm going to go in with the Becca Backlit Priming Filter. And I'm just going to put this on a foundation brush because I don't like getting it all over my hands because it's not glittery, but it's sparkly and I don't want that all over my hands. Okay, and now for foundation, I am going to do a combination of the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in shade Cream, and then the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in this shade Mont Blanc. Both are like the lightest shades ever because I am very pale. So I am going to do a couple swipes here. And then I will take some of the NARS foundation on the back of my hand and go in with a damp beauty blender and blend those out. I love this combination because it gives such good coverage, but the NARS one is definitely more like radiant and glowy, and so I still get that glowy, dewy finish that I want with the coverage that it adds. Next, I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to use the Hourglass Vanish Concealer in Birch. And I am going to go ahead and do the places I want more brightness. So I'm going to go under my eyes, around my nose, down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, and a little on my chin. And I'm going to go in with another beauty sponge and blend all that out. And I'm also going to prime my eyelids while I'm here as well. I like just using my concealer as an eyeshadow primer, and then I'll set that in a minute. I think this is a good setup. Yeah, I think so too. I'm going to go in with a little brush in the corner of my eyes and make sure all these hard to reach places are blended out and not creasing. Okay, I'm gonna set my under eyes with the Charolette Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Pressed Powder with a Morphe M554 brush, just so I don't start creasing. And now I'm going to go ahead and do some contouring, and I am going to use the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer in the shade Amande. It's a medium dark shade, and I use this very sparingly because it is very dark, for me at least. And I do just a few dots like that right there. Same on the other side. And then some around my hairline. And that's literally all I'm going to use right now for that, because it's going to make a difference with how dark this is on me. And then I'm going to go in with a Real Techniques brush and kind of brush upwards. now I'm gonna go ahead and go in right in with some bronzer. I'm gonna use the Morphe Glambronze in the shade Mastermind. It's this light, kind of coolish brown, and I'm gonna go in with another Morphe product, the Morphe R2 brush. I really like this kind of as a bigger, just all over bronzing brush. And I'm gonna go right over that contour as well as onto my cheekbones and under my jawline, around the forehead. And then I'll also do some nose contouring in a second with a smaller brush. I'm actually gonna go in with an eyeshadow brush for contouring my nose. And I use a very light hand. Now I'm gonna go into some baking, and to bake I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Okay, so I went ahead and baked. I did my brows and I did one eye to just kind of see the finished product. And now we're gonna go ahead and start on the other eye. So what I'm gonna do is take the same bronzer that I used earlier with a big fluffy brush, and this is the JH30 from Morphe. And I'm gonna put that all in my crease. And then bring it inwards as well. And I'm gonna do a few layers of that. And we're gonna keep it very light and simple on the top because I really want the lower lash line to be the focal point of this look. Okay. And today I'm going to be using two palettes. The main palette is going to be the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. And then for my upper, my eyelids, it's going to be the Jaclyn Hill Original palette with Morphe. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and go into that Jaclyn Hill palette and go into this shade right here. It's kind of a coolish, very light, like tan color, and I'm gonna use that same fluffy brush I was just using and do the same thing I was doing before and go just in my crease and forward, and I'm swooping out in a cat eye like motion to make sure that my eye looks very blown out and more outwards instead of inwards. And I'm going to also combine this other shade, the shade right below it. I need a new palette, you can see the pan. And combine those two shades. And stay kind of in the outer V. And then go out, and then when there's barely anything back on my brush, go inwards. See how that looks up close. It's looking good. Okay. So next I am going to go ahead and grab the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette and go into this shade called Dagger. It's like this charcoal gray color right there. This flatter eyeshadow brush, it's still fluffy, but it's flatter, and it's the Morphe M433. I'm gonna go into that very lightly. I'm using a very, very, very light hand. I'm gonna have barely anything on this brush. And just go in the outer V of my eye. You can see right there with a very light hand. I want barely any product on my lid. Okay, and then I'm still gonna take my finger and disperse that out even more because I want a very light wash of that gray charcoal color on there. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that pressed powder that I used earlier to set my under eyes, the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, And I'm gonna take a very flat definer eyeshadow brush and just go right in the inner corner of my eyelid, just the inner part of my eyelid, like right there. And also into the tear duct, the inner corner of my eye, just to kind of brighten that up a bit. Because if I have lighter in the center of my face, it's gonna make my eyes look more blown out. Doing that there, okay. And now I am going to wipe off my under eye bake so I can get started on the lower lash line. Right in front of me, literally right in front of me. Wipe that off, and I'm gonna get started on the lower lash line. I'm gonna go back into that Urban Decay Smoky palette and use the shade Black Market, which is just this black, jet black shade. And it's a very pigmented shade, but it's still very forgiving. So if you mess up, it's not gonna be super drastic. So I'm gonna take a flat definer brush and take that in and go very tight on the lash line. And I'm gonna go almost all the way in. I'm gonna stop like right there, like not quite towards the inner corner of my eye. Build that up just a little. And it looks very harsh right now, but we're gonna blend because harsh lines are of the devil. And then I'm gonna take a little bullet eyeshadow brush, literally. And I'm just gonna blend that eyeshadow out. And I am gonna bring it all the way into the inner corner. And then I'm gonna dip back into that same black shade and start to just build it slowly to where it gets darker like this. I went ahead and built that all up, and I'm going to take just a gel liner. I'm just using the Maybelline gel liner, and I'm gonna go ahead and line my waterline very dark. Okay, so I went ahead and lined my waterline and did a little bit just under the waterline on the lash line, and then blended that out a bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a wing with that same gel liner, a more intense wing, kind of like this one, on the upper lash line. Okay, so I went ahead and threw on a wing and some mascara, and now I am going to go in and put some highlighter on the inner corner of my eye. I'm using the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics quad highlighters, and I'm gonna go in with this shade, this lightest shade here called Iced, and just throw it right in my inner corner. And then I am going to go back in with the Urban Decay Smoky palette and go in with this shade here called Armor. It's a very charcoaly gray shimmer shade with my finger, and put it right on my lid. I'm gonna add a little to the other one as well. Okay. And then I'm going to throw on my other lash. I'm using House of Lashes in the style Iconic Light right now. Iconic Light lashes. I've already had my glue drying for a little bit, and I'm just going to slip these on. Okay, and so that finishes off the eyes, and now I'm gonna go ahead and go into blush and highlight and lips, and then we are finished. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into blush, and I'm using the Milani Luminoso blush. And I'm just going to put this right on the apples of my cheeks. It's a mineralized finish blush, so there's a little bit of shimmer, but not too much. And it has a very just light wash, natural look. Put a little bit on the bridge of my nose. Okay, and now for highlighter, I'm going in with the Kylie Cosmetics highlighter in Ice Me Out. It looks just like this. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Okay, sorry if the quality changed. The camera battery died. I am now using my phone to finish off. I'm gonna go and go in with lips. And I am going to use the NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Beige, just to line my lips. And then I'm gonna go in with Morphe matte lipstick in Boy Toy. Just on the center, I'm going to use the Jaclyn Cosmetics liquid lip in the shade Nudie, and just put that in the center, and then dab it in just a little, and that's it. And that is my reverse smoky eye. Hope you enjoyed.